John Lennon.
Oh my God, wait. They got this from, dude. Wait, isn't that from when they sold Pepsi's to USSR? Glimpse is coming out with some bangers after bangers. Let's take a look at this one. Maybe when the contests go horribly wrong. A Nintendo Wii, a fistful of cash, naming rights, and even a jet. All of these were prizes in contests that have gone horribly wrong for different reasons. Corporate errors or miscalculations are usually the blame. But what happens when actual human lives are lost as a result?
Nintendo Wii tomorrow morning. Are you ready?
Absolutely. It's for my wife.
Are you a good holder?
I think so.
On January 12th, 2007,
Oh, I remember this.
Sacramento radio station KDND's Morning Rave Show held an on-air contest called Hold Your Wii for a Wii. Basically, contestants in the studio had to drink as much water as they could without urinating. Whoever drank the most would win a Nintendo Wii console. Jennifer Strange, a 28-year-old mother of 3, was one of the 17 contestants that day. She was eager to win the Wii for her kids, as they were sold out.
She didn't even die because she held her pee. She died because she drank a lot of water, right? Isn't that what it was? She got water poisoned.
Almost everywhere at the time. Contestants were each handed
Spoiler
8
alert.
ounce or 240 milliliter bottles of water to drink at 15-minute intervals. The quantities of water got increasingly larger as the competition progressed, and people would drop out when their bladders got too full. To make contestants drop out faster, the rules kept changing. The intervals were decreased to just 10 minutes. Then eventually, the few final contestants had to finish up their bottles of water in 2 minutes. Jennifer Strange ended up coming second in the competition after drinking close to 2 gallons or 7.5 liters of water over 3 hours. She repeatedly mentioned her head hurting and feeling lightheaded, but the radio hosts didn't seem concerned.
Jennifer, I heard that you're not doing too well.
My head hurts. They keep telling me that it's the water, that it'll tell my head to hurt and then it'll make me puke. But
Who told you that? The intern?
Yeah.
That's one of the ghosts over there.
Like, it hurts, but it makes you feel lightheaded. So I'm not sure if I'm just like.
This is what it feels like when you're drowning. There's a lot of water inside of you.
Oh, it hurts.
They even joked about how her bloated stomach made her appear pregnant. At one point, a nurse called in warning how dangerous drinking too much water can be.
I want to say that those people that are drinking all that water can get sick and possibly die from water intoxication.
Yeah, we're aware of that. They sent releases, so we're not responsible. It's okay.
Oh no, it's good. Okay, got it. Never mind, guys. I was about to have humanity, and then I realized they signed releases, dude. Okay, sick. Oh, okay, got it. Never mind. Then fuck them. They should die then. Okay.
The nurse recommended giving the contestants salt or a sports drink like Gatorade to help replenish their sodium levels. But the contestants couldn't even hear the broadcast, and the advice was disregarded by the hosts. They joked several times throughout the show about contestants dying and how they were not liable because of the waivers that were signed.
Oof.
Hey, Carter, is anybody dying in there?
We got a guy that's just about to die.
Oh, good. Make sure you sign that we laugh at that.
Did these guys go to jail?
Yeah. Make sure he signs the release. Get the insurance on that, please.
At the end, Jennifer was awarded Justin Timberlake concert tickets for being the first runner-up. After the contest was over, Jennifer's head pains worsened. She called her colleague Laura Riots in tears, saying that she was suffering from an intense headache. Laura called Jennifer's mother, who rushed to her daughter's home in Rancho Cordova. Jennifer had...
See, a lot of people constantly tell me, Hasan, why the fuck are you drinking so much Mountain Dew? I will never die of water poisoning, okay?
died in her home just 6 hours after the contest ended. A coroner's report revealed that Jennifer had died.
No, they have some pretty dog shit lives now, though. Don't worry. The main brother's guy killed a bunch of people recently. Wait, what? The main guy's brother killed a bunch of people recently? What the fuck? These guys are just like, they can't stop doing murders? What's happening?
Died of water intoxication. The rapid consumption of water created an imbalance of electrolytes, which caused the brain and cells in her body to swell. The Sacramento County Sheriff's Department announced that they would be Jennifer's death.
Why? Because they were probably fans of the fucking show. That's why. How do you not investigate that? Everyone knows who killed her. Like, how is that not illegal? Like, how are you not endangering people? Like, you literally can just, like, sign your life away? What is happening in America, man? Actually, what the fuck is happening in the United States of America? Brother, you can't just be like, hey, guys, today we're going to fucking bungee jump or something. And then, like, and after, like, the 11th time that people are bungee jumping, like, the wires are actually becoming very dangerous and can snap. And people are calling in to be like, hey, the wires can snap. You probably should stop. And then they're like, oh, well, they signed a waiver. Who cares? Like, the waiver is not, people literally think that, like, if you sign a waiver, then, you know, you've signed your rights away. That's not the case. You can still sue, and you should still sue. In this situation, the government should do something about it, which is wild that they didn't. Because it's not like a fucking spell that they cast, like a protective spell that they cast over themselves. Like, you can't put someone under undue risk. Like, there is still such a thing as criminal negligence, you know?
There was no evidence of criminal misconduct. The morning rave show was immediately cancelled, and 10 radio station staff members were fired, including the 3 on-air hosts, Adam Lucas Cox, Steve Maney, and Patricia Trish Sweet. On January 18th, 2007, Jennifer's husband, William Strange, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the radio station's parent company, Entercom. The trial began in September 2009 in Sacramento. Attorney Roger Dreyer, who was representing the Strange...
Yeah, that's the other part of it. You can't sign your life away. They put Dr. Gavorkian in jail for like 30 years for assisted suicides. Exactly. Like, what the fuck? And some of those people literally, like, were terminal cancer patients. You know what I mean? Like, they wanted to alleviate pain. My man said Gavorkian, by the way. I met Dr. Kevorkian when I was 12. Damn. Was he trying to kill you? What's happening?
Family argued that Jennifer's death was completely preventable and that the radio station was well aware that their contest could lead to a death. No medical professionals were ever consulted, nor was there a doctor in the studio on the day of the contest, and several contestants had complained of pain and discomfort throughout the morning. Prior to the contest starting, the hosts even mentioned the case of Matthew Carrington, a 21-year-old college student who had died of water intoxication during a fraternity hazing. The hosts used Matthew's death to depict the edginess of their contest and attract more listeners.
Oh my God, they literally fucking, Jesus Christ. They absolutely knew that you could die from water intoxication. That's why they kept making jokes about it.
On October 29th, 2009, the jury awarded Jennifer Strange's family $16.5 million in damages and found Entercom Sacramento to be 100% at fault for her death.
They fucking should have sued the police too for not prosecuting the DJ. Here's the main DJ's family history sins. In his book, Cox wrote that he struggled to find work after Strange's death, but nobody was going to hire a DJ with a reputation as a killer. I was branded with a cruel and false charge, he wrote in his book. He has since found work at other radio stations. Now, Cox is listed among 48 potential witnesses the prosecution could call in its case against his sister, Lori. Lori is currently being held on $1 million bond at the Rexburg, Idaho jail and faces 2 counts of felony desertion of a child and the disappearance of her children, Joshua J.J. Wallow, 7, and Tylee Ryan, 17, who were last seen in September. Lori also faces misdemeanor charges of resisting and obstructing an officer, solicitation of crime and contempt, according to the Madison County, Idaho Prosecutor's Office. Lori's other brother, Alex Cox, died December 12th, and his death is currently under investigation. On July 11, 2019, Alex shot and killed Lori's 4th husband, Charles Wallow. Alex told the police he acted in self-defense when he shot Charles, according to the body cam footage released by Chandler Police Department. Alex was not in charge in the incident. That's wild, dude.
Death. The KDND radio station was shut down in February 2017. In 1984, PepsiCo introduced a lottery-style promotional campaign to win market share against its rival, Coca-Cola. A 3-digit number and a cash prize amount were printed on the underside of the bottle cap of every PepsiCo drink. Each day, a different winning number would be announced, and the holders of the bottle caps could redeem a prize. The campaign was a huge success in the United States and South America, and was eventually rolled out in the Philippines in February 1992. The prizes range from 100 to 1 million pesos, which was the equivalent to $40,000 US in 1992, and was over 600 times the average monthly salary in the Philippines at the time. Every night, the winning number would be announced on the evening news program TV Patrol. The numbers were carefully controlled, and there was a very small number of bottle caps bearing the 1 million pesos prize in circulation. The campaign was hugely popular and a massive success for Pepsi sales. Over the next few months, Pepsi increased its market share in the Philippines from 19.4% to 24.9%. By the time the campaign ended on the 8th of May, 51,000 people had won the smallest prize of 100 pesos, while 17 lucky people took home the 1 million. The Number Fever campaign was such a hit that it got extended for another 5 weeks. That's when disaster struck. On the evening of May 25th, 1992, hundreds of thousands of people across the Philippines tuned into TV Patrol to see what the winning number was, as they had done every night for the past few months. That night, the number was 349. However, 349 had already been allocated as a non-winning number during the original run of...
My Starfield is downloaded already. I don't even know if I can play it yet, though. Shutting down Steam. Fucking hell. Let's take a look. Lads. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. See. Restart Steam. Shutting it down. Shutting it fucking down. At the top of the hour, serving you a 3-minute ad break. Serving you a 3-minute fucking ad break. In Todd We Trust is what many are saying. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. Right? Especially because he did not give me a fucking early access code, and I had to pay for it. I had to fucking pay for the privilege to be able to play the game early. It's at 99%. It's unpacking. It's unpacking. Okay, it's going to take some time to unpack, but it's unpacking time. All right, let's continue. But everybody knows I hate Todd Howard because he's white.
The campaign. So there were 800,000 of them floating around the Philippines. Usually, only a few people would turn up to Pepsi bottling plants to collect major prizes. But that night, tens of thousands of ecstatic people came forward to redeem their prize. Some households even had more than one winning bottle cap. They all thought they had just become millionaires. An emergency meeting was called at 3 a.m. and PepsiCo Philippines executives determined a computer error resulted in the incorrect announcement of the winning number. The following morning, a different winning number, 134, was announced by the newspapers, indicating that that was meant to be the real winning number, but it just added to the confusion. A few days later, it was announced that PepsiCo would be offering 500 pesos as a gesture of goodwill to those who held 349 bottle caps. About 486,000 people accepted, but thousands of people were still demanding their rightful prize of 1 million pesos. Peaceful protests were held outside the PepsiCo head offices and the government buildings. 349 claimants formed organized consumer groups and called for a boycott of Pepsi products. However, the protests escalated and turned into violent riots over the coming months. PepsiCo executives began to receive death threats, and dozens of company trucks were attacked, overturned, or burned. On February 13, 1993, a Molotov cocktail was thrown at a Pepsi truck in Manila, and sadly, a school teacher named Anacita Rosario and an unnamed 5-year-old girl were killed, with several others getting injured. In May 1993, a grenade was thrown into a Pepsi warehouse in Davao and killed 3 employees. About 22,000 people took legal action against PepsiCo. 700 civil suits and 5,200 criminal complaints for fraud and deception were filed. A $400 million class action suit was even filed against PepsiCo in New York, but ended up being dismissed. In January 1993, Pepsi paid a fine of 150,000 pesos to the Department of Trade and Industry for violating the conditions of their promotion. In June 1996, plaintiffs in one of the lawsuits were each awarded 10,000 pesos, about $380 at the time.
That's crazy.
One lawsuit was escalated to the Philippines Supreme Court, and in 2006, it was ruled that PepsiCo could not be liable for any more damages, and the issues surrounding the 349 incident were laid to rest. In 1996, PepsiCo would be embroiled in another promotional campaign gone wrong, this time in its home country, the United States. Pepsi Stuff was the largest promotional campaign in the company's history, and another effort to win market share against its rival Coca-Cola. It was simple. Customers would accrue Pepsi points when they bought Pepsi products, which could be exchanged for items like t-shirts, jackets, sunglasses, bags, and bikes. Pepsi Stuff catalogs and order.
This was so poppin' back then. Like Camel did this too for cigarettes. I think even Marlboro did it. This shit was fire.
Forms were distributed across the country. The total value of all the merchandise was
I assume we're gonna find out that it wasn't fire, but considering that the title is "When Contests Go Horribly Wrong,"
$125 million. The TV ad for the campaign featured a Harrier fighter jet valued at $37.4 million at the time, and was depicted with a price tag of 7 million Pepsi points. 21-year-old business student John Lennon.
Oh my God, wait. They got this from, dude, wait, isn't that from when they sold Pepsis to USSR? They had literally a fucking, they had a carrier. No, it's a Harrier, but like, didn't Pepsi also at one point, like around this time, own a actual Harrier is a U.S. Marine jet? Okay, but like, maybe they fucking got the Harrier in exchange for like a sub, like a Russian sub. Well, it wasn't just a sub. It was like an aircraft carrier, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Pepsi once had the 6th largest navy in the world. USSR and Pepsi cut a deal where the Soviet Union would provide vodka from a state-owned brand, Stolichnaya, for resale in the U.S. in exchange for Pepsi. And then by late 80s, the USSR's agreement with Pepsi was due to expire. However, unlike in previous years, their vodka wouldn't be enough to satisfy the American company. So, due to the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, which led to American people boycotting Russian products, including vodka, Swedish vodka Absolut quickly surpassed Stolichnaya. The Soviets didn't want to lose Pepsi, so they opted for a rather unorthodox trade with the soda company. In exchange for his product, they gave Pepsi a fleet of ships, including 17 submarines, a frigate, a cruiser, and a destroyer. Donald Kendall responded saying, "I'm dismantling the Soviet Union faster than you are."
From Seattle, Washington, saw the ad and decided to test if he could win himself a fighter jet. Initially, he attempted to buy Pepsi products to accumulate the points, but quickly realized that he wouldn't be able to ever buy 7 million cans or bottles of Pepsi. He examined the label on the bottle and noticed fine print that revealed that Pepsi points could be purchased for 10 cents each. He realized that in theory, he could buy himself a $37 million fighter jet for just $700,000. Of course, John didn't have that kind of money, so he turned to his friend, Todd Hoffman. Todd was a millionaire businessman in his 40s. The unlikely friends met on a mountaineering trip in Alaska, where John was working as a guide. They both shared a rebellious and adventurous spirit, and Todd immediately agreed to help raise the money for the jet.
This is literally the most American story of all time, dude. I can't even wrap my brain around the Americanness of this fucking story. It's still unpacking. It's at 106 gigs, by the way.
With 5 investors behind him, John sent Pepsi a check for $6, along with 15 bottle labels he had collected himself. A couple of months later, John received a letter from PepsiCo explaining that the jet was not part of the Pepsi Stuff catalog, and therefore was not able to be redeemed. They explained that the jet depicted in the ad was a joke and solely for entertainment purposes.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. He deserves the jet. Give him the fucking fighter jet right now.
And returned the $700,000 check. Dissatisfied, John hired a lawyer who hit back at Pepsi, pointing out that the commercial did not carry a disclaimer about the jet and demanded that they make arrangements for it to be transferred to John, or they would take legal action against them. PepsiCo went to court first to get John's claims to be declared frivolous. John responded by filing
Files are
his
being
own
verified.
lawsuit demanding the jet. The case was brought to the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, where John alleged both breach of contract and fraud on PepsiCo's part. In August 1999, Judge Kimber Wood ruled in favor of PepsiCo.
That's so fucked up. God damn it, I hate this fucking court system. Dude, that's not just fraud. That's $700,000 worth of fraud. That is such unimaginable bullshit. Like, yeah, you don't get the fucking jet, but Pepsi should absolutely pay financial compensation. What the fuck?
And it was found that the jet depicted in the TV commercial did not constitute an offer under contract law.
That's so fucked up.
The court also found that any reasonable person would understand that the jet was intended to be a joke and not to be taken literally. Judge Wood also added in her statement, quote, "The callow youth featured in the commercial is a highly improbable pilot, one who could barely be trusted with the keys to his parents' car, much less the prized aircraft of the United States Marine Corps." The court also found that there was no case for fraud as Pepsi never cashed John's check. PepsiCo.
Dude, this is fucking wanton corruption. Straight up. It's just like, I'm not even joking right now. I'm so serious. Like, the Taco Bell pizza is like a Taco Bell flatbread and it's false advertising, yada, yada, whatever. This, on the other hand, oh my God, his lawyer was Michael Avenatti. Oh, that's why he lost. Oh no, that's why he lost, because he had Michael Avenatti as his lawyer. Fucking legal counsel Michael Avenatti, who himself is in prison, so. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, you done fucked up. You done goofed. You done goofed big time. Okay, this unironically is a miscarriage of justice. And the only reason why they were able to fucking get away with this is because Pepsi was a massive corporation and this guy was some random fucking hired. This guy was a random dickhead. That's it. Okay? And also because he hired, foolishly, Michael Avenatti. This is completely unacceptable. That is false advertising. Like, there is no better way to describe false advertising than that. The case is correct from a legal perspective, and its justifications are correct too. There's no way. How? That it's unreasonable to assume that you're actually going to win the jet. If they never specify that you are not going to win the jet and they show it as a part of the sweepstakes, it absolutely is not. After they got his letter, they re-edited the ad to say the fighter jet wasn't included. Well, that implies that they also... Okay, that implies that they also recognize that they fucked up. You can't just, like, post hoc change that shit. Like, how do you not put that in the fine print? That's crazy, dude. I don't believe that for a second. That is, like, unironically a solid legal precedent.
Continued to run the Pepsi Stuff campaign and aired the commercial, but updated the cost of the jet to $700 million.
Look it up. The case was super rigged. She didn't allow for a jury and a bunch of other bullshit. I feel like a reasonable person would know it's crazy impossible to win the jet, but I still think it's a real offer. Yeah, the impossibility comes from it being $700,000 worth of Pepsi points, dog. That's where the impossibility comes from. Actually, more than that. The fine print is where they fucked up and allowed them to purchase it for 10 cents. Like, it's not sweepstakes. They could buy the points, so it clearly wasn't made to be bought 1/1000th of the price. No, dude. No fucking shot. You can't just, like, say you're going to give a carrier, unironically just say that you're going to give a carrier, and then have people, like, join the competition, and then turn around and be like, just kidding. We were just lol. I'm using the just kidding defense. I mean, you can't do that as an average American, but PepsiCo can, because they can go judge shopping and find. You can go judge shopping and find a judge that is way more favorable to massive corporations, who will then turn around and defend your irresponsible behavior. Every sweepstakes has one of those insane prizes worth the most points. Not completely unreasonable to think this one would too. Yeah. Bro, I hope you're joking, because whatever you say, the chat agrees with you. Guys, I'm very clearly not saying he deserves to get a fucking fighter jet. Please understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that he should have gotten damages. He should have gotten some kind of compensation for motherfucking, like, when I say, oh, he should get the fighter jet, I'm joking. That part is a joke. But like, the fact that they present this as a winnable prize with no fine print showing that you actually can't get this as a winnable prize. You can't just turn around and be like, yeah, I'm reneging on the offer. We were just kidding. You can't implement the just kidding defense.
In points and added a just kidding disclaimer. Giving the internet the task of naming something historically hasn't gone too well. These naming contests seem to always get hijacked, resulting in a funny but sometimes inappropriate name getting voted as the winner. In 2007,
they 100%, they had a list of prizes you could claim and it wasn't there, but it was on the commercial. They 100% should have been forced by the court, which, by the way, that's the same district, not suspiciously enough, I hope you understand, that also falsely imprisoned our boy for successfully suing, I always say Exxon, but it's actually Chevron, right? Steven Donziger. It was Chevron, yes. To prove your point, they update price in the commercial instead of saying it's not included. They didn't cash his check of Monopoly money. Lol, what's the counteroffer? Hey kid, here's 500 bicycles. Yeah, what damages would there be when they just send him back his money? No, you can't just like fucking kick someone out of this competition when they've already purchased so much. They've spent so much time purchasing the fucking Pepsi shit. They literally got other investors involved. Like, in that situation, I think that they should legally have to, obviously you would bargain against that, but you should be able to argue that they have to give you the price of the jet. Like, they have to give you cash compensation. They're never going to give the actual price of the jet because that's $37 million. So instead, they'll probably give you like half of that or something. He dodged a bullet. Harriers are a nightmare for maintenance, and we spend too much on the plane itself and too much time teaching new mechanics how to fix it. All right, let's see if it works. Uh-oh.